about how the Triangle factory burned to the ground, and I'd like to take a minute, just sit right there. I'll tell you how labor laws change for workers everywhere. In New York City, on a Saturday, a worker tossed a match to set fabric ablaze. As young girls worked age 14-22, the fire spread fast and panic ensued when a couple of owners who were on the 10th floor made it out without unlocking the doors. There was no way out, and the girls got scared. Some burned, some fell, some jumped through the air. Some people tried to help when a fire truck came. The ladders were too short. Water couldn't reach the flames. 146 people died that day, and now the regulations will not be the same. Many laws have been passed to protect workers' rights, and employers must obey them without any fights. We have minimum wages. We have unions too. Working conditions have improved for me and you. Isaac Harris and Max Blank were the two owners of the factory. On March 25, 1911, the Triangle factory burned down in New York City, killing 146 people, most of whom were immigrant women between the ages of 16 to 22, and some as young as 14. The owners were only paying workers $7 per week. After the fire, they had to go to court, and being tried for manslaughter, they were acquitted. The rapper, as you may have noticed, was not Will Smith. In fact, it was Frances Perkins, who was having tea in a nearby townhouse when she heard the fire engines. She went on to become Secretary of Labor under President Franklin D. Roosevelt and the first woman in the cabinet. Perkins oversaw the passage of landmark laws protecting workers' rights and safety. Robert Wagner, who as a New York state legislator held hearings on the Triangle calamity, went on as a U.S. Senator to write the National Labor Relations Act of 1935, known as the Wagner Act. It prohibited employers from discriminating against workers who joined unions and assured the right of workers to negotiate terms of their employment. 3 years later, the Fair Labor Standards Act was passed in 1938, and it established a national minimum wage and guaranteed overtime, which is time and a half for most kinds of work beyond 40 hours a week. It also fixed minimum ages of 16 for work during school hours, 14 for certain jobs after school, and 18 for dangerous work. In the end, at least in the U.S., the risk of death in the workplace has been cut to a fraction, 1/30th of what it was in 1911. Even though the Triangle Fire was such a terrible incident, it led to many improvements for the workforce in America.